like I said, we're just going to go over small patterns and things that people should start to notice while they're trading. I'm going to post them in here right now. So give me a second. We're going to go over bull flag, bull pennant, just pennants in general, flags in general, um, cup and handle, falling wedges. So basically just basic patterns that you could see in everyday trading. And then I'm going to show you examples of them. So let's see, hold on, I'm just sending these in now. Give me a moment. Okay, so I know this may be a little, you can't really see it that much. So here's a falling wedge. I would kind of consider this more of like a mini, yeah, it is a wedge. It is a wedge. Um, here's a falling wedge. We'll just start with this. Here's a falling wedge. I have examples of this, and I'm going to show a couple of charts with that. And this is a very good bullish pattern. Probably the best time to enter is on the break of the wedge going higher, and you should break over that recent high and go even higher as it shows here. Another one that we are going to see a lot that I could show is the bullish rectangle, the bullish pennant. So I'm actually going to show you a falling wedge now, so we can go over this one again, and we could do that. So let's do this. I'm going to bring up blink charging. And here's a clear example of like a falling wedge here. So you see the channels that I have drawn here, and then you can see the breakout going higher. And now we have another basically falling wedge setting up here, looking for the same breakout, breaking over this previous high at around 58 and going higher into the 60s. So this one broke out at around 23, 24. The high was 35 and it went higher to about 55. So usually you would like to see the same type of moves in regards of the previous, move. So for example, this one was, we had a, what did I just say? Like a 30-point move. It's possible we could do the same thing here going higher. You never know. So let's look for that. Now let's go back to this for a second. The bullish rectangle, perfect one here that we can go over is ABMD. And this one has been, so you can see it ran up here. And then it just basically kind of sat still and traded sideways until it broke out up here. The entry was on the breakout. And what I was talking about the other day, I alerted this trade, was 333, a break and a close over that, or just a break over that. You could see on this candle, it did break over that, but it didn't close. This candle, it did close over that. We entered on this candle and we sold the next day at around 347, 348 on that move right there. So this one is a bullish rectangle. Let me just take this out. I mean, I just put, there's a fib at this line. That's why there's a green, basically shadow behind it. And so this was a clear example of a bullish rectangle. So just basically a flat mini channel here and then the breakout above causing an entry and then going higher. Now let's go back and let's look at another one, a bullish pennant. I'm going to show this one here. And this is a setup that's happening right now is ENG. So this one had a nice run up, beautiful run up here. And then you can see that it's basically trading within this candle and is forming that pennant formation, almost like a wedge, I guess you could say. A lot of these patterns kind of look alike, but this one, they consider it as the bullish pennant. You can see it trades right in like a cone formation kind of here, like a mini triangle. And you want to see a break of the pennant for the entry going higher. Now a cup and a handle, we could do this as well. And same thing here, we could look at ABMD. So this is a funny cup and handle, but it definitely does work out. You can consider this a cup and handle kind of. So you could see the top of the cup is right here at around 315. You could see the rounded bottom, and then it comes back up. You can see it stops at around that 315. It forms this one, it did a flat, rectangle handle and then broke out. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other names that I could show you for cup and handles. You can see here, for example, another bullish pennant trading in a little range, broke out of that range. We took an entry, and you could see it pushed up to 253. So here's another example of a bullish pennant and how it worked out. So that's something to look at too. I believe I have another stock. Is this one? You could kind of see a little pennant here forming. May not be exact. I'm just drawing this right off the bat, but you could see, that kind of formation there and how it's trading. So you got to watch this one too. This looks like a good trade as well going forward. Now a bull flag, you can see here, I'll show you this. A bull flag has the breakup and then basically like a little comeback to set up the next move. Here's more pictures of it. Same thing. It also could kind of look like a falling wedge in that regard as well. So, like I said, they look some of these patterns kind of look the same sometimes. It depends on what you want to call it, but they all usually act the same way when they're going in a certain direction. And this one, you can see the breakout going higher. And then I would consider this more of like a flag, and we want to see it break out of that channel and go higher as well. So this is what I would consider a bull flag, and we could watch this one going forward as well. Now, AI is another bullish falling wedge, I would consider it. As you could see, it's kind of wedging down into, a smaller trading area here, and then it broke out higher. And this green line that I have here is like my mini demand zone. Now, what I use this for, or what I put this there for, is because there's a lot of openings and closings in this area of candles. You can see there's a lot of support down here in that area. And we kind of hit that area as well. And you could see we just broke right up out of it, broke the falling wedge, and we made a basically 30 to 35 point move off the break of that wedge. So you see when we break these, patterns, they could get a good move going in whichever way they, created the pattern, I should say. So that's one thing. Let's see if there's any others. We could kind of come up here, show you some more examples. Showed you OEG. You can kind of see something here, but I'm not going to really go into it. Just looking around here. Give me a moment. A lot of these things are moving here. So CBAT, CBAT, this is basically a long wedge forming here. And you can see it's respected the resistance lines up here, respected the supports, and possibly I could put this line a little bit higher. See what I could do here. Let me just kind of play with it. No, just playing around, but I'm not saying this is the exact trend because I wouldn't really draw that line, but you could play another form of line there, and you could see it acts as going across. There's higher lows. So this is a low, then this is a higher low, and now we have a higher low here, and it seems like we're going to start to curl up. This is why we entered this play today as well. And like I said, longer term, since November, it's in a nice, bullish pennant here, and just want to see a move to break out of that area, break over this high, at 11:30 and go higher. So, these are just some of the patterns I look for in everyday trading. And whether it be daily candles, whether it be hourly candles, it all depends because everything could change there as well. And let me bring up one more thing. Let me just find the picture so I can show you a very good example of it. So one moment. Should have it on me. And this pattern right here is very good for reversals. I may not have it on me anymore. Okay, it seems I do not. Let me just do a little check and see if I can find it. It was TTD, a trade that we did the other day. Should not be that far ago. Trying to find it in here. I think it's right here. Actually, I don't think it is. So I want to try to show this pattern here, but I can't find it. Basically, I'll show the setup that it is. I think I have a picture of it as well. I'm going to send that right now. Oh, wow, you can't see that on this. Okay, so you're not going to be able to really see it on this. Sorry about the quality of that. But it'll be this sort of setup here, the 3 inside up setup, and you're going to see this pattern right here on SEDGE, Solar Edge. We bring up a daily chart. So right here, we had a big red candle coming down to areas of support. You could see a gap up here. We actually entered on this actual red candle here, and the reason was it was starting to get right to support. Support was around 270 to 280. The candle closed at around 283, so we did a starter there. And it gapped up the next day. And when it gaps up inside the candle like this, it usually continues for 1 to 2 more days. And you can see we did continue. We have 3 days here. And we hit my price target of 315, which I wanted for this stock to hit that 14 SMA, 30 SMA actually, sorry, the yellow line right there. So the play worked out perfectly as we wanted. And this is a nice setup here for a reversal for 3 inside up, it's called. I'm going to send this out to everyone tonight. I'll send it right after this video. And I'll explain which candles I actually wanted you guys to look at, like tweezer bottoms, piercing lines. Those are very good setups as well, bullish engulfings. So I'm going to send that out right now, and we'll go over that. Is there anything else you guys want to go over quickly? Do I have the chat open? I'm trying to see if I have the chat open. Or you guys could just post in the Discord. Oh, that's a little bit better. Yeah, so here's the 3 inside up. Here's the tweezer bottom that I wanted to talk about, piercing line, the bullish engulfing. Well, I would kind of consider this a bullish harami, or it could be the 3 inside up for the SEDGE play. Thank you, KPO. I appreciate that. So, those are some things to look at. You could kind of say that on SPY the other day, this could have been possibly a bullish abandoned baby because we had the gap down and then we basically gapped up. Or it could be a morning star here. So we had that push down, and then we had that little baby candle at the bottom here. So here's the push down. Here's the gap down, the abandoned baby, or the morning star. And then you can see we gapped up following it, which completes one of these two patterns right here. So that's also another setup to look at. And I've used this setup in the past. I haven't really traded it recently overall, but I've used this setup in the past, over the past 5 years. And I've talked about it many times before this. So this is actually one to look at too. And that's a good example right there for SPY. Inside day. So which one? Hold on 1 second. Now, you can consider this an inside day. So it traded inside the candle. It just had the bullish pennant breakout, went higher, broke out of that, and then you have an inside day candle here, and then we could possibly have a breakout going higher. An inside day that I had in the past, which I know for sure we traded, was ZS right here. So you had the big breakout, 2 inside days, and then a big push to that all-time high at the time, right at that high, and then it broke down. So this is like a setup for an inside day too. It had 2 inside days and then a breakout. TDOC, same thing is setting up here. You have that inside day, you have the big breakout, and then you have the inside day. Could be a possible other inside day tomorrow, and then possibly a breakout going higher. Let me check ABND. I think it had the same exact pattern too. And yes, it does. You have the inside, you have the breakout, then the inside day. Could be, it could be 1 to 4 days for the inside days. It just sits there. It could even be more. I mean, I've seen BIDU have like 2 weeks inside days inside of a big candle, and then it broke out even higher. And I'll show that example right now quickly too. I don't want to take, not much more of anyone's time. If I'm correct, it doesn't look like that big of a candle, but at the time, it's right now, it's a little shrunken or shrunk because of the big move, and the chart got a little funky. But this is like a 18-point move, and you could see all these inside days inside of it, and then you could see we broke out after 2 weeks basically of trading and went higher. Then we tested a little lower again, and we broke out again. And then here again, if you really want to do something here, this could be a rectangle, if you want to consider it that. And then it broke out. This could be a mini falling wedge possibly. I wouldn't really, chart it like that, but it's just something at the eye. You could kind of see a pattern, even though it may not be true to form. You kind of see it forming. You could see it like forms down there, and then obviously it broke out, pushing higher. So just things to look at going forward, and trying to see these patterns in everyday trading. Ascending triangle is another good one. I can't think of any real names with that pattern right now, but this is another bullish pattern, and you can see it right here. Here's a very good example of it. Basically lines going up, kind of forming a wedge at the top, or like a setup like that, and then you just see it breaks out of that flat top trend line, and then just pushes higher. Let's see right here. Here's a setup like that. You have past resistances. It doesn't break out, It hits the bottom line, and then it just broke out and continued higher. So that's another setup to look at, and a very good setup that it is. With that said, I'll be posting these 2 charts, the candlestick cheat sheet and this chart right here with the patterns. And you guys can look at those going forward, and I'll post this video up in about 5 minutes. So thank you guys for joining. Hopefully it was helpful, and hopefully you learn a little bit. Just keep these patterns in mind, and definitely go over them and try to see them in intraday trading as well.